I'm Ayana Johnson, first year BSc Psychology student from Lissa College. So do you know what is cognitive map? So here I'm gonna discuss about the topic cognitive map. So cognitive map, it is a type of mental representation which serves an individual to acquire, code, store, record and decode information about their relative locations and attributes of phenomena in their everyday or metaphorical spatial environment. And this concept was introduced by Edward Tolman in 1948, and this concept was used to explain about the behavior of rats that appear to learn the spatial layout of a maze. And subsequently, this concept was applied to other animals, including humans. And the term was later generalized by some researchers, especially in the field of operations research, to refer to a kind of semantic network representing an individual's personal knowledge or schemas. So when we make an overview to this cognitive map, it has been studied in various fields such as psychology, education, archaeology, geography, cartography, architecture, landscape architecture, urban planning, management and history. So because of this broad use and study of cognitive map, it has become a colloquialism about any mental representation or model. So cognitive maps serve the construction and accumulation of spatial knowledge, allowing the mind's eye to visualize images in order to reduce cognitive load and enhance recall and learning of information. Cognitive mapping, it is believed largely be a function of the hippocampus. So the hippocampus is connected to the rest of the brain in such a way that it is ideal for integrating both spatial and non-spatial information. So connections from the posterior cortex and the medial entorhinal cortex provide spatial information to the hippocampus. And connections from the perineal cortex and lateral entorhinal cortex provide non-spatial information. So the integration of the information in the hippocampus makes the hippocampus practical location for cognitive mapping. So O'Keefe and Nadale were the first to outline a relationship between the hippocampus and cognitive mapping. Numerous studies by O'Keefe have implemented in the involvement of place cells. Individual place cells within the hippocampus correspond to separate locations in the environment, with the sum of all cells contributing to a single map of an entire environment. So the strength of the connections between the cells represents the distance between them in the actual environment. So the same cells can also be used for the constructing several environments. So the possible involvement of place cells in cognitive mapping have been seen in a number of mammalian species, including rats and macaque monkeys. So additionally, in the study of these rats, by Mans and Eichenbaum, pyramidal cells within the hippocampus were also involved in representing object location and object identity, so indicating their involvement in the creation of cognitive maps. So in this, there is a map theory which is called parallel map theory, and it states like this: there has been some evidence for idea that the cognitive map is represented in the hippocampus by two separate maps. So the first is the bearing map, which represents the environment through self-movement and gradient cues. So the use of this vector-based cues creates a rough 2D map of the environment. The second map would be the sketch map that works off the positional cues. The second map integrates the specific objects or landmarks and their relative locations to create a 2D map of the environment. So the cognitive map, it is thus obtained by the integration of these two separate maps. So this leads to an understanding that is not just one map but three that help us to create this mental process. It should be clear that the parallel map theory is still growing. The cognitive map, it is generated from a number of sources, both from visual system and elsewhere. So much of the cognitive map is created through self-generated movement cues. Inputs from senses like vision, proprioception, olfaction and hearing are also used to deduce a person's location with their environment as they move through it. So this allows a path integration, the creation of a vector that represents one's position and direction with one's environment, specifically in comparison to an earlier reference point. Directional cues and positional landmarks are also used to create cognitive maps. Within the directional cues, both explicit cues like markings on a compass as well as gradients like shading or magnetic fields are used as inputs to create the cognitive map. So directional cues are also can be used both statistically when a person does not move within his environment while interpreting it. So and dynamically when the movement through a gradient is used to provide information about the nature of the surrounding environment. Positional landmarks provide information about the environment by comparing the relative position of specific objects, where areas directional cues give information about the shape of the environment itself. So these landmarks are processed by the hippocampus together to provide a graph of the environment through the relative location. When we came across the history of cognitive map, this idea of cognitive map was first developed by Edward C. Tolman. And Tolman was one of the earlier cognitive psychologists, and he introduced this idea when doing an experiment involving rats and mazes. So his experiment was like that a rat was placed in a cross-shaped maze and allowed to explore it. So after this initial exploration, the rat was placed at one arm of the cross and the foot was placed at the next arm to immediate right. So the rat was conditioned to this layout and learned to turn right at the intersection in order to get the food. So when it is placed at the different arms of the cross maze, however the rat still went in the correct direction to obtain the food because of the initial cognitive map. So it had created of the maze. So rather than just deciding to turn right of the intersection, no matter what, the rat was able to determine the correct way. Correct way to the food. So no matter where in the maze it was placed it. Unfortunately, further research had slowed down due to the behaviorist point of view prevalent in the field of psychology at that time. In many later years, O'Keefe and Nadel attributed the Tolman's research to the hippocampus. So starting that it was the key to the rat's mental representation and its surroundings. So this observation furthered research in this area and consequently much of hippocampus activity is explained through cognitive map making. So as time went on, the cognitive map was researched in other prospective fields that found it useful, therefore leading to broader and differentiated definitions and applications. So a very prominent researcher, Colin Eden, specifically mentioned the application of cognitive mapping simply in any representation of thinking model. Like that, one day in a review, Andrew T.D. Bennett argued that there was no clear evidence for cognitive map in non-human animals according to Tolman's definition. And this argument was really based on analysis of studies where it has been found that there are simpler explanations can account for experimental results. So Bennett highlights that there are simpler alternatives that cannot be ruled out in tests of cognitive maps in non-human animals. So there were three alternatives, and the first one was that it is apparently novel shortcut is not truly novel. And the second one was the path integration is being used. And the third one, the familiar landmarks are being recognized from a new angle like followed by movement towards him. So in the beginning, I explained that there is a cognitive map. It is a type of mental representation. It is also known as mental map. So we have another definition for this, that a cognitive map is a spatial representation of the outside world that is kept within the mind until an actual manifestation of this perceived knowledge is generated, a mental map. So this cognitive mapping is the implicit and the mental mapping is the explicit part of the same process. So mental mapping, it is typically associated with landmarks, location and geography when demonstrated. So creating mental maps is just depends upon the individual and their perception whether they are influenced by real life, media or other sources. So because of this factual storage, mental maps can be useful when giving directions and navigating. Related to this, in 2014, Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to John O'Keefe, Maybrit Moser and Edward I. Moser for their discoveries of cells that constitute of positioning system in the brain, and the discoveries have solved the problem that have occupied philosophers and scientists for centuries. And their finding was like this: how does the brain create a map of the space surrounding us, and how can we navigate our way through a complex environment? So this is all about cognitive map. Hope you all loved it. Thank you.